Once upon a time, albums felt like events. You counted down the days, you knew the single, you watched the interviews, you saw the billboards on your way to school or work. And when it fully dropped, the world stopped. Fast forward to today, albums drop with a random Instagram post and disappear within a week. The magic gone, the build-up forgotten. It's like the culture moved on without the anticipation. But then something changed. Clipse came back. After years away, their Let God Soar the Mount rollout wasn't just good, it was a masterclass. A reminder of how it used to feel. So what happened? How did we go from unforgettable rollouts to surprise drops and skipped albums? And can the magic be saved? To understand how far we've fallen, you gotta understand what we lost. The late 90s and 2000s, that was the golden era of album rollouts. Albums didn't just drop, they were launched. Think about it. When Jay-Z was dropping Blueprint 3, you knew. When 50 Cent was gearing up for Get Rich or Die Trying, you felt it in the air. When Kanye was prepping Graduation, the rollout itself became a part of the cultural conversation. This was a time when artists crafted eras, not just albums. You had lead singles months in advance, world premieres on radio stations, massive press tours, music video events on MTV, countdown shows, full-page magazine spreads, and iconic interviews on every major platform. Even the streets knew. Bootleggers had the drop date memorized. Fans lined up at midnight at record stores. The release day was a celebration, not just a stream on your phone. Every rollout was about building hype, creating moments, and making the audience earn the experience. Albums like The College Dropout, The Carter 3, Late Registration, and Get Rich or Die Trying had built up. You didn't just stumble on those records, you anticipated them. It wasn't just music, it was a moment in history. The golden era didn't last forever. As the internet took over, the game changed. By the late 2000s and early 2010s, we entered the mixtape era, and that flipped the industry upside down. No more waiting 6 months for an album rollout. Artists started dropping free projects on DatPiff, live mixtapes, and later SoundCloud whenever they wanted without label interference. Drake dropped So Far Gone, boom, A Star Is Born. Future floods the streets with Beast Mode and 56 Nights. Wiz Khalifa's Cushion Orange Juice took over Twitter in a single day. Fans got addicted to instant access. Drop a tape today, tour tomorrow, move on to the next thing next week. So labels saw this and thought, why spend months on a rollout when fans eat up free drops right now? And as social media grew, virality replaced anticipation. Hot freestyle, a viral snippet, or a surprise drop could get more attention than a traditional rollout. Streaming services only accelerated this shift. Albums went from being events to being content, something to consume and quickly forget. The rise of the mixtape flood killed the slow burn rollout and birthed the culture of fast food music. By the mid-2010s, we reached the point of no return. The death of anticipation wasn't just an accident, it became the standard. Artists like Beyonce flipped the industry with a surprise drop. Beyonce, which released in 2013, hit without warning and sold millions. No promo, no interviews, just a midnight drop on iTunes. It was a cultural earthquake. She sold over 800,000 copies in 3 days. The industry took notice. By 2015, surprise drops were everywhere. Drake dropped If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Future built a mixtape run with Monster, Beast Mode, 56 Nights, and the surprise drop with DS2, creating a momentum machine. Kanye released The Life of Pablo in 2016, and it was premiered live at Madison Square Garden during his Yeezy Season 3 fashion show, streamed globally via Tidal. Labels shifted strategies. Why waste 3 months on a rollout when you could drop a project and break the internet in 24 hours? But the problem was, not every artist was Beyonce or Drake. By 2017 and 2023, the trend backfired for everyone else. Mid-tier artists tried surprise drops and flopped badly. Fans were engaged. Media didn't cover it. First week sales dropped drastically. By 2021, streaming data revealed a pattern. Albums spiked during the first 48 hours. Streams dropped by up to 80% by week 2. Social media moved on within days. Every major artist weren't immune. Chance the Rapper's The Big Days was dropped in 2019, flopped despite surprise tactics. Little Durk's Almost Healed, which released in 2023, had a 2-week build-up but faded fast. Jack Harlow's Come Home, The Kids Miss You, which released in 2022, barely sustained impact despite heavy media rollout. The age of social media created short attention spans. The playlist era turned albums into background music. Surprise drops became the default and forgettable. Only a few outliers like Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, Taylor Swift all managed to still make releases feel like events by blending rollouts with viral strategy. But for the vast majority, anticipation was dead. Albums became just another Friday drop. Then, out of nowhere, in 2025, the Clipse, the legendary duo from Virginia Beach, did what most modern artists couldn't do. They brought back anticipation with Let God Sort 'Em Out. It had been over a decade since their last full-length album. Fans wondered if they'd ever return, and when they did, they treated the rollout like an event, not just a random drop. Step 1, mystery. Before a single drop, Clipse build intrigue. Cryptic black and white images on Instagram, symbolic posts with the religious themes, crosses, scripture references, philosophical captions, no release date, no single, just energy. Step 2, culture moments. They didn't chase viral trends. They aimed for high fashion and high culture. First performance at Louis Vuitton men's runway show in Paris, June of 2024. They performed the unreleased single, Chains and Whips, drawing attention from high fashion and music audience alike. This intersection of culture and street culture underlined that their comeback wasn't just musical, it was cultural. Step 3, controlled teasers and exclusive access. The lead single Ace Trumpets arrived on May 30th of 2025 with a lyric video and Pharrell's restrained yet cinematic productions. Cinematic videos for So Be It debuted on Hot 97 and Instagram Live on June 17th, followed by Chains and Whips video on July 14th, told a visual story over time, fueling audience intrigue. Step number 4, rollout discipline and industry rebellion. Clipse deliberately avoided leaks and surprise drops, opting instead for careful pacing and high-end visual storytelling. A public dispute erupted when their label refused to clear Kendrick Lamar's verse on Chains and Whips, leading to a label shift. Clipse bought out of Def Jam and signed a distribution deal with Roc Nation to maintain their vision, underscoring their commitment to creative control. Step number 5, premium partnership and build-up. Strategic partnerships included a Denim Tears capsule tee launched in June of 2024. A short film premiered at the High Museum of Art in February 2025, featuring a track preview and a listening events in NYC, London, and Paris, targeting press, tastemakers, and key influencers. When Let God Sort 'Em Out dropped on July 11th of 2025, it landed not as a surprise drop, but as a fully matured cultural moment, backed by months of intentional storytelling. Clipse didn't just release an album, they reinstated real anticipation by investing in mystery, discipline, partnerships, and creative independence. So, if Clipse just pulled off one of the best rollouts in years, why can't every artist do the same? The short answer is resources, reputation, and reality. The Clipse factor legacy and respect. Clipse didn't just come back, they returned as legends. They have built 2 decades of credibility. Classic albums like Lord Willin' and Hell Hath No Fury, one of the greatest hip-hop producers, Pharrell, personally producing the projects, cultural capital in fashion, art, and luxury spaces before this rollout even started. Most artists, especially newer ones, haven't earned that level of respect yet. 2, labels want quick flips. Today's record labels care more about viral moments than long-term artistry. Short attention spans mean labels push quick releases, TikTok-ready hooks, and rapid turnover. The average artist get minimal marketing budgets, a few social posts, maybe a playlist push, then on to the next project. Clipse had enough leverage to buy out their Def Jam contract and take their rollout to Roc Nation. Most artists simply can't afford that. Also, streaming platforms reward constant content over careful curation. Algorithms prioritize consistent uploads. Playlist culture pushes artists to focus on singles, not even full album experiences. Even big names like Gunna or Raw Wave struggle to sustain album attention beyond 1 week, despite millions of streams. However, this generation of listeners conditioned for speed. Most fans barely make it past week 1 of a new release. A slow rollout risks losing the audience unless the artistry already has cultural weight. Clipse's older fan base was willing to wait, but for the newer artists with younger fans, it's a much harder game to play. It's not just about music anymore. It's about status, storytelling, and cultural leverage. Clipse built that over years. For everyone else, surprise drops, playlist placements, and TikTok virality are the survival tools in a system that doesn't reward patience. Clipse reminded us what a rollout could be, but for most, the climb to that level is longer than ever. After watching Clipse reclaim the art of the rollout, the big question is, can the industry shift back? Is there still room for real anticipation in this era of instant gratification? The answer is yes, but it's not for everyone. Rollouts work, but only with the right strategy. The Clipse rollout worked because it wasn't about spamming content. It was about curating the story, symbolism, cultural alignment, controlled access, high quality visuals, and messaging. For artists with a strong identity or narrative, this old school approach can still win, especially if you connect it to fashion, film, or cultural movements. Modern rollouts need modern tools. It's not about going back to 2005. It's about blending old school anticipation with new school platforms, using social media for cryptic teasers, not full spoilers, dropping visual pieces and mini films instead of endless TikTok snippets, hosting exclusive listening events in a way that creates word of mouth, not leaks. Even beyond Clipse, we're seeing glimpses. Kendrick Lamar with Mr. Morale, Travis Scott's Utopia, and Beyonce's Renaissance. Some will continue to chase viral TikToks and quick streams. Others, especially artists who value longevity and narrative, are starting to see the value in build-ups again. Clipse reminded the world, if you make people wait, make it worth it. You could turn an album into a cultural movement. So, can real rollouts make a comeback? Yes, but you've got to have the patience, the story, and the weight to make people care again. So, what do you think? Is the Clipse rollout the start of a shift or just a rare exception? So, here we are. Album rollouts aren't dead. They've just been forgotten by most. Clipse came back after nearly 2 decades and reminded everyone what it means to build anticipation, create an experience, and make an album feel important again. But the question is, will the rest of the industry follow, or will we still stay stuck in the drop it and disappear cycle? Maybe rollouts won't ever go back to what they were, but Clipse just proved that if you respect the art, take your time, and move with intention, people will pay attention. So, what do you think? Are rollouts dead or making a comeback? Who's still doing it right?